All right, guys, it's that time again for Covrprice's top 10 1 year later. All right, guys, this is a great list this week. It's quite a change from our normal 1 year later lists. Guys, if you aren't already, if you could, hit that subscription button, notification bell, the thumbs up if you enjoy the video, leave a comment down below. You're going to want to leave a comment on this one because it's different, and I will explain as we go through the list. But first, let's also talk about Covrprice. Covrprice, for today's comic book market trends, Covrprice.com offers the ultimate price guide with live, raw, and graded sales. Manage your collection and track your portfolio's overall value with our robust tracking system with a free 10-day trial and several affordable price tiers. Discover the value of your comics and sign up today. That's Covrprice.com. They gave me this list. This is the top 10 books from 1 year ago. And what we're about to do is see where are they now. And what better number than to start with number 10. This is Thor, number 5. This time last year, there were very few books hotter than this first full appearance of the Black Winter. Donny Cates' Thor issue dominated Covrprice's top 10 for months. A year ago, this standard cover sold for $55 raw, $300 for a 9.8. Though at its height, a 9.8 sold for almost $400. 1 year later, we now know that a cosmic-powered Thor destroyed Black Winter, forcing many to abandon this book, bringing raws to $38 and 9.8s with a huge drop to a fair market value of $90. This big question is, will we see Black Winter again? But for now, it is a bust. I think you've heard me say this in previous videos. If you can get a cool first appearance in a 9.8 for under $100, pull the trigger. I still have one on the back burner. I have it just waiting because I think Black Winter is too cool of a character to be dead and gone forever. But that's besides the point. Book number 1 of our list is a bust, and a big one if you bought at its peak. You're going to hear me say this a lot in this list. It's a risky game to play these 9.8 modern weekly book specs. If you're going to spend the big money, do it on a solid key, bronze, silver, copper, even modern, just solid modern keys. But let's keep going. Let's go down to number 9. This is Venom number 26. Donny Cates' fever was in full effect this time last year as he introduced a virus in this issue. With a very complicated tied first full appearance with Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day 2020, this issue had a lot of market interest around it with a raw height of about $15 and 9.8s were fetching $115. 1 year later, Virus was revealed to be Mac Gargan, whose virus suit was destroyed several issues later. 1 year later, Mac Gargan is still imprisoned, and it's unknown if he will return to the Virus moniker in the future. This short-lived appearance dropped raws to $8. 9.8s dropped hard to a current fair market value of $40. That's a bust. 2 for 2 on the bust list, guys. Both books, Donny Cates. Both books had a lot of hype around it. I wouldn't pick this one up. I think a lot of the hype last year around Virus was, who is he? And I think that's why people were speculating hard and picking this up, grabbing the 9.8s, buying these things up raw. Who was he? Who was Virus? We got an answer and then squashed, gone. So 2 for 2 on this list, both bust, both modern hype key books. So let's go down. Let's go down now to number 8. This is Ice Cream Man number 20, the Dr. Seuss variant. This time last year, Ice Cream Man was climbing in market prices. However, it was this Cat in the Hat homage that really brought significant attention to the optioned title. It had a high raw sale of $30 and 9.8 sold for around $168. 1 year later, we know now that the market was flooded with copies, which ended up bringing the market down to a current fair market value of $8 raw and $100 for a 9.8 bust. Guys, another bust on our list, another modern book on our list. And when I say modern, I mean like literally week after week after week, people are grabbing these up at the LCS, getting them graded and hurrying up and flipping them for $100+. This is 3 for 3 on this. Now, granted, this variant, this cover is really cool, but that's it. So careful with that stuff. Now, if you were buying it for yourself, who cares? You're not looking to flip it. You wanted to keep it. You like the cover. You enjoy the book. Nothing wrong with that. Trying to flip it to make money, you got to be careful with these. Let's go down to number 7. Dark Knights, Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knights, number 1, the 1 in 25 variant. When we talk about hot variants, this still ranks as one of the hottest new released variants we've ever seen, selling over a huge 250 copies in the first week and a half until this point last August. Featuring the first full appearance of the Robin King. Everyone and their mother wanted a copy. It was selling for a fair market value of $180 raw, $600 in a 9.8. 1 year later, the market realized that they didn't really care that much about the Robin King, bringing the fair market value to its current $80 with 9/8 at $148. Another bust and another brand new book that came out and everyone had to run and grab. It's the FOMO, guys. People were FOMO buying every book on this list so far. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. The market corrects itself. This might have been like the height last year of speculation. Like everybody and their mother were buying these books. I remember that. I remember this last year. I actually remember being on the phone with Jay from Principal Defects talking about Virus, talking about Black Winter, talking about these books. But we weren't picking these books up so much as to flip and hurry up and buy. We were reading these stories and they were absolutely fantastic. So again, if you're buying these to read, nothing wrong with it. If you're buying these to hurry up and flip, you got to do it quick. You can't sit on these books. Let's go down to number 6, a little bit of a change of pace here. This is Amazing Spider-Man 375. This time last year, Anne Wang's, whose first appearance is in this issue, appeared in Venom 27 as a member of a team of Agent Venoms, causing this issue to jump in price. Again, after her appearance in the Venom film, which is important. This issue had a high sale of $15 raw, $200 for a 9.8. 1 year later, thanks to the timing of Venom 2 and Michelle Williams' return as Anne, this book has held its value. Raws sell today for a fair market value of about $17, 9/8 at $200. Break even on this one. First one on this list that's a break even, not a bust, and it's also a book from the 90s. Is it a coincidence or is it the timing of the Venom movie, the trailer, and everything else? And with that, let's go down to number 5. This is Dark Knights, Death Metal, number 3, the Federici variant. With all the heat around the Robin King, his appearance on this cover had its own heat with 87 copies sold, a high raw sale of 20, 9/8 at about $125. 1 year later, prices dropped to a fair market value of $11 and $37 for a 9.8 bust. Do you see this list? I've said it almost every book now. These modern week in and week out books, you have to be careful. This list is going to continue. Watch this. We're going now from number 5 to number 4. This is Venom 27, the Ryan Stegman variant. And back to Venom. Now, Donny Cates. This issue featured the first full appearance of Codex and the Agent Venoms. Venom number 27 was hot last week. This variant landed on the list with raws selling for $15, 9/8 pre-selling at $50. 1 year later, Dylan Brock is still very relevant. However, as the new Venom, the Codex moniker appears to be retired. This brought raw sales down to a fair market value of $6. 9/8 are holding at about 55, which is about a break even. I can't keep saying it. Look at this entire list. All you guys who are all about the silver and bronze, you're going to leave those nasty comments. This is why you shouldn't speculate on the modern books, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no kidding. We know that, right? But people do it anyway. It's the FOMO. People are like, I don't want to miss this book. They're buying. All of a sudden, everything catches up. The market catches up. The market is just flooded with copies and it drives the price back down. So save the nasty comments about this list and moderns. We've been talking about it now for about 6 books. Let's go down to another one. The trend is going to continue here. How about number 3 on our list? This is Immortal Hulk Number 2, the 4th print. Immortal Hulk was the hottest book back in 2018 and 2019. The most expensive book in that run went to Immortal Hulk number 2, the first appearance of Dr. Fry. As the series progressed, the market had renewed interest in the character and gave this 4th print a significant boost in sales and price. It sold 48 copies and had a high raw sale of $35. 9/8 pre-selling for $50. 1 year later, the market moved on from Immortal Hulk, and this 4th print, which now sells for $10 raw and $45 for 9.8, it's a bust on the raw side, a break even on the graded side. I'll be honest with you, pre-selling a 9.8 at $50 is not the end of the world. You got to realize each book now is costing you about $25 to $30 to get graded. So you're almost saving yourself all the hassle of doing that, hoping for the 9.8 for spending the $50 if you want this book graded at a 9.8. It's actually worth the $50. And I wouldn't be surprised if that $45 to $50 price range just hangs on. It's so you pay the extra $20, you're guaranteed the 9.8. Why not do it? That's that. Again, more modern books, more weekly LCS pull books. Let's go. Number 2. Dark Knights, Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knights, number 1. This book still reigns as the best-selling new release book we've seen on Covrprice. In less than 2 weeks, this standard cover of the first full Robin King sold over 600 copies. Despite so many sales, it held steady at a fair market value of $17 raw, $122 for 9/8 in a few weeks after, because they had to get to CGC and back. 1 year later, raws dropped to $10 and less in many cases. 9/8 sell for $50, which we've seen some selling for as low as $21. The market has remained flooded with copies, holding this book down for the foreseeable future. This is another big bust and another weekly pull book from the LCS that people were FOMO buying. I'm going to say this list may be the height of what we're seeing here. Like, I remember this a year ago. People were scrambling to get these books, but there was just so many out there. So many out there. Let's go to the last book on our list. And again, I just wanted to ask you guys, don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to hit the thumbs up and check out covrprice.com. Number 1 on our list, Venom, number 27, the John Boy Myers double cover error. Back to Venom. You guys seeing a trend here or what? This error was easily the hottest book of the week this time last year. If you recall, Big Time Collectibles was the exclusive seller of the John Boy Myers variant. They had 3,000 in a trade dress and 1,000 virgins. Somehow, during the printing process, this and the 1 in 100 were printed and stapled together. These were then sent to the Diamond Olive Branch location and labeled as the 1 in 100 variant, which then Diamond proceeded to send out to retailers who qualified for the 1 in 100. It was noted that 2 cases, roughly 480 copies, went out when the error was caught, and the rest of the errors were destroyed. Due to this rarity, this error double cover had a high sale of $820 raw and $1,275 for 9/8. With both Codex and Virus no longer present in this form in issue 27, this error also fell hard to its current $350 raw price, $450 for 9.8. Overall, those current prices really aren't that bad unless you bought it for $1,000. However, it's a great drop for fans of error books, despite it still being a bust. I remember this too. Like, people were going crazy for these. Everyone was checking to see if they got one of these variants from Big Time Collectibles or errors, right? This one's hard, though, to talk about because I don't think we're getting Virus back. But Codex, I don't know. He's out there, right, in the multiverse, I believe. I think it's a multiverse situation. I remember reading this, but it was so long. It was a year ago. So $450 for 9.8, down like $800. Almost every book on this list was a bust or a break even. So let's close this out again, talking about cover price and getting into this current list. There you go. Out of the top 10 books from this time last year, almost all were big busts. There was not even one win. The shocking part is that all of these books were story/comic driven. Not one of them had content ties or even content speculation. Fans poured into online sites to pick up all of these first appearances and flavors of the month. When we've looked at previous top 10s, the lists that flourished in the 2-year, 1-year, or 6-month time frame were all driven by content or Miles Mania. Is this a case against rushing into hot story-driven speculation? Well, it appears to be in this case. Now, for the recap, if you would have bought into these at market prices, it would have cost you $1,202 raw, $3,005 graded. Today, these books would have been worth $538 raw, $1,215 for 9/8. This is the first time we've not only seen a loss, but a big one, with raw loss of $668 and 9.8 loss of $1,790. This was a very interesting case study. Next show, we'll go back to 2 years again, back to when we saw multiple books suddenly move up on Marvel's D23 MCU announcements in 2019. Make sure you check out Covrprice.com and see what's on their current top 10 and the various trending movers and shakers. Come back for the next show and let's see how the books did 2 years ago. Guys, careful on buying these modern flavors of the month. Don't fall for FOMO. Thank you so much for buying. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep it comics.